Is the screen visible?
Yes,
Sir.
sir.
Okay. So in the last lecture, we have discussed about predictor corrector method by Newton's Gregory forward interpolation formula, isn't it? Or Newton's Gregory forward interpolation, right? So that means if we have y0, y1, y2, y3, then with the help of that, we can find the next ordinate, that is y4, isn't it? With the help of previous 3 to 4 ordinates. Y0, y1, y2, y3. That is Newton's Gregory forward difference interpolation formula, right? Now, the next method is about Newton's Gregory backward difference interpolation formula, and that method is called Adams. Just a minute. Adams-Moulton method. So this is about Newton's Gregory backward difference interpolation, nothing else. The basic difference between both of this method is what? Newton's forward and backward, isn't it? So what this Adam-Moulton method says, if we have a differential equation dy by dx is equal to f of xy, with the initial conditions x is equal to x naught and y equals to y naught, then to find the approximate value of yn plus 1, is it? To find the approximate value of yn plus 1, using Newton's Gregory backward difference interpolation formula, we have the predictor and corrector formulas. Okay, but those predictor and corrector formulas with the help of Newton's Gregory backward difference interpolation. So Adams and Moulton method says the formula for predicted value of y, that is y4, p is equal to y3 plus h by 24, 55 f3 minus 59 f2 plus 37 f1 minus 9 f0. So this is Adams-Moulton predictor formula. Predictor formula. Okay. With the initial conditions, of course, x0, x1, x2, x3, and corresponding y0, y1, y2, y3 we're having. And with the help of these coordinates x0, y0, x1, y1, x2, y2, and x3, y3, we can find the values of the function at those coordinates. That is, f0 means function value at x0, y0. f1 means function value at x1, y1, and so on. Okay, so with the help of these, we'll get the values of functions fi's, and we'll substitute all those values along with y3. We'll get the predicted value of y4, isn't it? And to get the corrected value, we have this formula y4c, c for corrector. So y4c is y3 plus h by 24, 9 f4p plus 19 f3 minus 5 f2 plus f1. Now what is this f4p? So actually f4 is the value of function at x4, y4, right? But now instead of y4, we'll substitute the value of y4p, isn't it? So we'll calculate function value at x4 and this y4p. That will be f4p plus 19 f3 minus 5 f2 plus f1. Okay, and that is the corrected value by Adams-Moulton method. Okay, and in general now, the predictor formula is yn plus 1p is yn plus h by 24, 55 fn minus 59 fn minus 1 plus 37 fn minus 2 minus 9 fn minus 3. And the corrector formula is yn plus h by 24, 9 fn plus 1 p, isn't it? Plus 19 fn minus 5 fn minus 1 plus fn minus 2. So with the help of this, we'll get the required ordinate. That's it. This is all about the Adams-Moulton method. Is there any doubt with the formulas?
Next.
Everyone, please reply if any doubt with the formulas. Okay, so let us have an example. Okay. So this is the first example. I hope the screen is visible. Solution of the equation dy by dx is equal to 1 plus y square is tabulated as So these are the solutions, basic solutions we have given: y0, y1, y2, y3, isn't it? And with the help of this tabulated data, we have been asked to find the value of y at x is equal to 0.8. Okay, with the difference, that is taking h is equal to 0.2. So this x0, x1, x2, x3. So x3 plus h will be x4, and what will be x4? X4 is 0.8 only, right? Because h is given to be 0.2. So 0.6 plus 0.2 is 0.8. And corresponding to that value only, we'll have to find the value of y. Okay. So using Adams-Moulton method, given differential equation is this. And actually here is specifically mentioned there using use Adams-Moulton method. So we have to use that. If it is not, then we have the two choices, whether we can solve with the previous Newton-Gregory forward, and now this Newton-Gregory backward also. So here, what is the function value? Function is 1 plus y square, right? 1 plus y square. And the initial conditions, x0, y0, x1, y1, x2, y2, and x3, y3, we have given from the table. So with those values, we have calculated the values of functions f0, f1, f2, f3. f0 is function value at x0, y0. So that will be 1, because the function is 1 plus y square. You can see here 1 plus y square. So y is given to be 0. So 1 plus 0 is 0. Sorry, 1 plus 0 is 1. So that is the f0. Okay. x1, y1 we are having from this second column of the table. And we'll calculate the value of f1. That is 1 plus 0, 4, 1, 1. So similarly, we can find f2 and f3, and we substitute both of or all these functions into those formulas. First of all, we'll substitute into predictor formula to get the predictor value of y4. Okay, and then we have now x4 and y4 predicted, and with these two coordinates, we'll find the value of function, and that will be f4p. Will be f at x4 y4p, and that is 2.04. Okay, so to improve this, for the correction of the function, or sorry, for the correction in y4p, we have y4c. That is y4c is y3 plus h by 24, 9f4p plus 19f3 minus 5f2 plus f1. Okay, so we have substituted all these values and we get y4c is 1.0296. Now you can see here y4p predicted value was 1.0233 and corrected value is 1.0296, isn't it? So that is what the difference we're having, 0.005 का difference है. So the corrected value is correct up to 2 decimal places. Hence, at x4 is equal to 0.8, y is equal to 1.0296. That is what the solution. Is there any doubt with the solution?
Nice, sir.
So this is what all about the Adams-Moulton predictor corrected method. And this is all about the unit number 3. So here unit number 3 is over. So the main things we have discussed throughout the unit number 3 is what? First of all, we have discussed about interpolation, right? Then we have discussed about numerical differentiation, right? And we have used that numerical differentiation to define the Newton's forward and backward interpolation. So basically it is interpolation. So the two types of interpolations we have discussed: Lagrange's interpolation and Newton's interpolation formulas. Then we have discussed about integration, numerical integrations. In that, I think we have discussed three types of integrals. Integration using the trapezoidal rule. Trapezoidal rule. Then integrations using the Simpson's 1/3 and Simpson's 3/8 rule, right? So these three numerical integrations we have discussed, numerical techniques. And then we have proceeded to solve the differential equation. We have discussed the methods of solving differential equation. First of all, we have discussed Taylor's series method. Then
Euler's.
Euler's, right? Then we have some modifications in Euler's, that is modified Euler, and then RK method. We have discussed RK method in two parts, second order and fourth order. And fourth order is very, very important, right? Then we have discussed about what? Higher order differential equations, right? Solution of higher order differential equations. Yes. Actually, Euler's method we have applied to solve the higher order differential equations. We have breaked the higher order differential equation into two first order, first degree simultaneous linear differential equations, right? And then we have applied the RK method to solve simultaneous differential equations. And then in the last part, we have discussed about predictor and corrected methods. That is Newton's forward interpolation and Newton's backward interpolation formulas to get the required ordinate, correct ordinate in fact, using prediction and correction method. Okay, so this is all about the unit 3 we have discussed. I'll share assignment soon based on this unit and even the MCQ questions also. You can get MCQs from my blog also, but I'll share, don't worry. Okay, now let us start with the next unit, unit number 4. So is there any topic that I have to revise from the unit 3, or you're facing some problems to get the things from that topic? Is there any point from this unit number 3?
Nice, sir.
Everyone, please reply if any doubt in any point we have discussed. If you're not getting the things, you can even go through the videos also. I've shared all the videos through the classroom.
सर सिनॉप्सिस मिल सकते क्या इसके?
सर आरके मेथड का थोड़ा सा शॉर्ट में दे सकते हैं क्या सर आप?
बोथ second order, fourth order, or only fourth order?
सर मोस्टली फोर्थ ऑर्डर क्योंकि वो ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है
एक्चुअली. आरके मेथड बेसिकली है क्या? लेट मी एक्सप्लेन ऑन द बोर्ड. आयुष, आप क्या पूछ रहे हो? सिनॉप्सिस फॉर द प्रोजेक्ट?
नहीं, अपना सिनॉप्सिस पूरा जो चैप्टर है ना,
हाँ,
मतलब
उसका
ओके,
समराइज.
हाँ सर,
समरी. ओके,
क्योंकि मतलब कोई टॉपिक पीडीएफ में, कोई टॉपिक बुक में, तो फिर मिसप्लेस होता है उधर थोड़ा.
You'll get the notes, I think, from my blog also, and I have shared the link also, I think. But if you're... Anyways, let us summarize the important points we have discussed, and then we'll discuss about RK method also. So the things we have discussed, or the unit 3 we have discussed in the parts. As a first part, interpolation we have discussed. Then integration.
सर थोड़ा इंक्लाइन करो.
Okay, in interpolation, then numerical integration, then numerical differentiation, that is differential equations actually, or the applications of these numerical techniques to solve the differential equation. We have in interpolation we have discussed the two main things, that is Lagrange's interpolation, and second is Newton's interpolation, right? In Lagrange's interpolation, someone is waiting, I think. Just a minute. Okay. Let me stop the presenting first of all. It may be getting recorded. Anyways. So in Lagrange's, actually from the interpolation, what we are trying to get from the given discrete data, we are trying to get the relation between those data, those values, right? And that relation we are calling as a polynomial, and that is interpolation, interpolating polynomial. So in Lagrange's interpolation, the value of that polynomial or the interpolation is the value of y, isn't it? Y equals to summation of yi li, right? Y is function of x, y of x, or that is f of x, I can say. So yi li of x, and I runs from 0 to n, right? And in Newton's interpolation, we have discussed first of all the operators, 4 to 5 operators. That is forward operator, forward operator, backward operator, then difference operator, isn't it? Then what? Central difference, average operator, and then shift operator we have discussed about. Then with the help of these operators, we have get the relation between these operators also. And then with the help of forward and shift operator, we have defined the two main formulas for the Newton's forward difference and Newton's backward difference interpolation polynomials, right? So Newton's forward and backward. Basically, we have used only shift operator and forward, shift operator and backward to define the Newton's interpolation. But you should know the relation between the remaining operator also. That is why we have discussed all the operators here. Then in integration, we have discussed about the techniques to solve the complicated integrals using the discrete data. That is, first is trapezoidal rule. Right? Then trapezoidal or Taylor series. I think trapezoidal, isn't it?
Sir, trapezoidal.
Trapezoidal, sir.
And then Simpson's. Simpson's 1/3 rule and Simpson's 3/8 rule. Rule we have discussed, right? So we have the three formulas for trapezoidal, Simpson's, and Simpson's 3/8. What we did in all these threes, whatever we are having the function given, whatever the complicated function, and if we want to find area under that function, what we have approximated in the trapezoidal rule, we have approximated that function to the trapezoids, small trapezoids, isn't it? Basically, trapezoid क्या होता है? उसके two sides, opposite sides are parallel, and other two sides are not parallel. So we are approximating this area to the small trapezoids, and then we are collecting all the areas of those trapezoids is nothing but the area under the curve, isn't it? In Simpson's, we are approximating that function to the quadratic function. This function we are approximating to the quadratic, and here in 3/8 we are approximating same function to the higher order quadratic functions formulas. So we have the formulas, three formulas for trapezoidal, Simpson's, and Simpson's 1/3 and Simpson's 3/8 to evaluate any complicated integral given, right? Then in difference or in solution of differential equations, we have discussed different techniques. Like first is Taylor's expansion. That is very easy and very basic technique. You can apply this technique to any example. That is in general, I can say, expansion. Then we have discussed about Euler's. In Euler's, what we did, basically in any of the method, we have given the differential equation along with the initial condition, and we have solved the differential equation with the help of initial condition from or with the help of any one of these methods, right? So in Euler's, we have discussed that actually Taylor's is giving the function value or y in terms of x. So Taylor's giving the general value of the solution, general value, and Euler's, modified Euler's or RK methods are giving the particular values of the general solution. Okay, so this is arbitrary because if you look at the Taylor's series expansion formula, Taylor says y is the function of x, and that is nothing but what? F of x naught plus x minus x naught into f dash at x naught plus and so on. So we have evaluated with the help of initial conditions, we can get the value of the function at initial point x naught, that is f of x naught, that is y naught will be given. Then with the help of that y naught and f at x naught, y naught and x naught, we can get the derivative of the function at x naught, that is y naught dash, and so on. We'll get the successive derivative, and all these successive derivatives along with this x naught, uh, x naught and y naught into this formula will get y as a function of x only, because this x is arbitrary, isn't it? This is variable, this is constant. So we'll substitute all these values and we'll get y as a function of x only. So that is infinite polynomial as a solution we are getting. But in Euler's, modified Euler's, or in RK method, we are getting the particular values of that solution. Okay. So in Euler, first of all, we have started with y1 first ordinate. So the formula for first ordinate is what? Y naught plus, yes, h times f of x naught, y naught, right? And with the help of this, we'll get the value of y1. So that y1 will use to get the next ordinate y2, that is y1 plus h times function value at x1, y1, where this y1 is the value of this y1, isn't it? So and so on, we'll get the values of ordinates, number of ordinates which we have asked to evaluate, okay, up to which we have asked to, and that will decided by the value of h given. That is very important. If you are still confused with that h and these ordinates, let me explain again that suppose this is our initial condition given x naught, then x naught plus h will be x1, that is x naught plus h. x1 plus h will be x2, and if you have asked to find, suppose whatever the value of x2, let us consider it to be okay, in general only. If we have asked to find the value of y at x2, okay, y at x2 by giving h is suppose 0.1, and if we have asked to find the value of y at x is equal to 0.3. So what they want to ask, they want to ask the value of y3 actually, because y at x is equal to 0 is y naught, isn't it? Y at x is equal to x1. x1 क्या होता है? x naught plus h will be y1. x1 plus h will be x2, and corresponding y will be y2, isn't it? And point at x is equal to 0.3 we have asked, so that will be the next x naught, or x2 plus h will be x3, and we have asked to find the value of y at that x3, so that will be y3 we have asked. So remember, accordingly we'll decide the number of ordinates to proceed. Okay, so this is what we did in Euler's, but Euler feels that these values are not that much correct. So what he did in his modified formulas, he have taken the average of this value and the value of the function. So first of all, he have started with the Euler's only, and then he have used y1 and x1 to get the value of function at those x1, y1, and then you have taken the average of f of x naught, y naught, and f of x1, y1 to get the correct value for the modification. So first modified formula for the y1 will be y1 prime, and that is y naught plus h by 2 f of x naught, y naught plus f of x1, y1, right? This is first modification. Then second modification will be, all the things are same, only y1 will be replaced by y1 prime, isn't it? And this process will be repeated till and until we'll get the number of decimal up to 4 decimal places, we'll get the same digits. All right. And the same procedure will repeat for all the ordinates, required ordinates, not just for the first ordinate. If we have asked to find the value of y2 or the y value at second step, then we have to check all the modifications in y1 also and y2 also, and then you have to fix the correct value, isn't it? And then use that value for the further calculations. So that is what we did in next modified Euler. And then we have proceed with the RK method, Ranch Kutta method. RK method we have discussed in two parts, second order and fourth order. Second order means 2Ks and fourth order means 4Ks. So if we are finding the first ordinate y1, so that will be by second order, that will be y0 plus k. And if we are finding by fourth order, that is the same thing, y1 will be y0 plus k. So only the matter of these formulas of k. So here we have only 2Ks and here we have 4Ks. So here in this case, in case of second order, the value of k is, I think, the average of k1 and k2. You can check, please.
Yes.
Average of k1 and k2. And here, in case of fourth order, the value of, or the formula for k is 1 by 6 times k1 plus 2 times k2 and k3 plus k4. This is the formula by, okay, formula for k, and then we'll substitute this k into this to get the first ordinate. Now, if we have asked to find the value of y at second step, that is y2, then first value of ordinate you have to get by RK method, by finding all these k's, and then again to get the value of y2, we'll write the formula y2 is equal to y1 plus k. And now this k will be different than this. Remember, we are finding all the k's again, because what is this first k1 in that case? K1 will be h times f of x1 y1 now. X1 y1, because we are having now y1 from the first step, we have fixed it, isn't it? And k2 will be what then? K2 is h times f of x1 plus h by 2 and y1 plus k1 by 2 and so on. So we'll find all those k's and we'll substitute into this to get the required ordinate. If you have asked to find the y value of y at third step, then you have to repeat all these k's for all those ordinates, isn't it? I know that is lengthier one, but the equal amount or the justifiable marks will be given to you. Don't worry. Okay, ऐसा नहीं होगा कि ज्यादा कुछ आपको करना है एंड मार्क्स उसके कम है उसके लिए, ऐसा नहीं होगा. डोंट वरी. ओके, सो उतने ही मार्क्स आपको मिलेंगे एग्जाम में भी.
सर इतना लेंदी नहीं आएगा ना?
हाँ, थर्ड स्टेप तक नहीं आएगा, लेकिन
2 बोल सकते
हैं. बी प्रिपेयर, या अप टू 2 ओनली, मैक्स अप टू 2. बट व्हाइल हैंडलिंग द प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम्स in your day-to-day life or in then you should know we can find up to any step. Okay, ये नॉलेज आपको यूज करना है बाद में जाके, जब आप हायर स्टडीज के लिए जाओगे, ME MTech और any other field, then you'll require this, or even PhD also you'll require all these techniques to apply practically. Anyways, so this is that clear? Someone have asked about the RK method of fourth order. Please ask if any doubt. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then we have applied all these techniques actually to solve the higher order differential equations. In higher order differential equation, what we have substituted there, we have substituted lower order differential equation, or no, lower order derivatives to variable. Suppose we have given the second order differential equation, then in that we have substituted first order derivative to be y, and then with the help of that substitution we'll get the two differential equation of first order first degree, and we have solved both of these two differential equations for the new two dependent variables. We'll get the solution to be the values of y and z, isn't it? And the same thing we have discussed in solving the simultaneous differential equation by RK method. So that's it. And then in the last point, we have discussed about predictor and corrector methods. Is it okay to all?
हाँ सर.
Okay.
सर इसका ट्यूटोरियल आप भेज देंगे तो ये फ्लो में हो जाएगा?
Yes, yes, definitely. Today only I'll send.
सर और कल का क्या करने का? कल कितने बजे उठना है?
कोई लोग प्रिपेयर नहीं है, मतलब एक दो ग्रुप का मेरे पास रिप्लाई आ गया कि वी आर नॉट प्रिपेयर्ड एक्चुअली, सो आई एम थिंकिंग टू पोस्टपोन इट।
सर बहुत ये हो जाएगा उस टाइम।
And that postpone will be after Diwali only now. If you are planning to postpone, then that will be after Diwali. I think we have 12 to 11 to 12 groups, and all should be prepared. At least 10 minutes will be given to each group. 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes, maximum according to the interest, and that depends on expert also.
सर
So
एक्सपर्ट कौन होगा?
expert, that will be uh, from the other department, and even that will be from outside the college also. Okay. I have the two experts, from one from outside and one from in our internal faculties. That is not from the department, for sure. आप बताओ एक बार चैट बॉक्स में कि कल लेना है या आफ्टर दिवाली ओनली। लेट मी चेक हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू आर रेडी। यस, both. Ayush says both. बाकी के लोग, इस खामोशी का मीनिंग क्या होगा? एनी टाइम सर, आफ्टर दिवाली, आफ्टर दिवाली, आफ्टर दिवाली। Actually, we have one guest lecture also after Diwali. I have arranged.
सर उस टाइम हमारा डिपार्टमेंट का भी गेस्ट लेक्चर है 2-3 आज मैम बोले।
आफ्टर दिवाली?
हाँ सर, 24 23 मोस्ट प्रोबेबली।
एक्चुअली हम ये दिवाली में भी ले सकते हैं कहीं से भी, लेकिन उसका कुछ मजा नहीं आएगा एक्चुअली। एवरीवन विल बी बिजी, इजंट इट? तो वो सिर्फ फॉर्मेलिटी हो जाएगी। थोड़ा सा अच्छा सा डिस्कशन होना चाहिए। आप लोगों ने 2-3 महीने उसके ऊपर काम किया है ना? बहुत सारे
सर
डाउट भी हो गया शायद आपके।
रीओपन कब होने वाला है कॉलेज?
कॉलेज विल बी फ्रॉम 1st of December, डेफिनेटली।
मतलब इतना बड़ा क्या बोलते हैं दिवाली का वेकेशन?
नहीं, रीओपन हमारे लिए तो इमीडिएट है। मुझे लगा स्टूडेंट्स के लिए बोल रहे हो आप।
नहीं 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 सर।
हाँ, हमारे लिए तो 17 को ही है।
ओके
12 to 17 वी हैव हॉलीडेज।
फर्स्ट दिसंबर को फिक्स है क्या
हाँ, अभी तक
ओपनिंग
तो है
कॉलेज का?
1st of December।
सर अभी तक वो लोकल वगैरह चालू नहीं हुए तो कैसे करेंगे?
उसके लिए अभी तक तो मतलब उस टाइम भी सबको कंपलसरी नहीं होगा शायद, इनिशियली देखेंगे, है ना? 1st December से शायद यहाँ के स्कूल्स वगैरह सब शुरू हो रहे हैं।
सर एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर ने बोला है कि
हाँ,
23 से चालू कर रहे हैं, 10th 11th 12th
राइट।
सर वो भी
बस।
हफ्ते में 4 बार और 4-5 ही घंटे है सर।
हम्म।
So only for 4 hours.
पर वो भी कंफर्म नहीं है सर वो भी।
वही है, अभी सेकंड स्टेज शुरू हो गया ना इंडिया में भी, है ना? सेकंड स्टेज शुरू हो गया है कोरोना
नहीं
का।
होगा सर
सर ये
कॉलेज।
खुलेगा बाद में फिर से बंद होगा सर।
हाँ सर, बच्चे इधर आएंगे अपना हॉस्टल के, और फिर उनको जाना पड़ेगा।
हम्म, देखते। एनीवेज, बहुत सारे लोग बोल रहे हैं कि आफ्टर दिवाली क्या करें। हम्म।
सर आफ्टर दिवाली डेट बताओ ना सर फिर, 17 18 19 कब?
17 को चलेगा, इमीडिएट इमीडिएट। 17 या 18 एटलीस्ट।
कौन सा भी चलेगा सर।
एक्चुअली एक्सपर्ट इज रेडी एनी टाइम। लेकिन अगर मैं अरेंज करता हूँ तो सब ग्रुप्स रेडी होने चाहिए ना, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि एक दो ग्रुप के लिए फिर से लेना पड़ेगा, दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल।
सर तो दिवाली के बाद ही सबको पॉसिबल है सर, मतलब अगर आप देखो तो।
ठीक है फिर चलता है।
सर 18 रखो फिर।
18।
हाँ सर।
सर 17 को फिक्स करो ना कि कौन सी डेट लेने वाले।
17
कर
को
सकते हैं।
मुझे लगता है कौन आएगा।
नहीं नहीं, मतलब 17 को जब चालू होगा ना तब फिक्स करते हैं कौन सी डेट लेना है, अभी नहीं
अरे
होगा ना।
16 को दिवाली खत्म हो रही है और 17 को डायरेक्ट रेडी कैसे होगा।
डायरेक्ट नहीं, मतलब उस दिन डेट फिक्स करते कब रखना है।
हाँ वही वही बोल रहे हैं हर्षल।
ओके ओके 17 को फिक्स करते चलेगा।
हाँ, किस दिन रखना है।
सर ज्यादा एक्सटेंड मत करो सर, 18 को ही रख दो,
ओके।
क्योंकि बाकी बोझ आएगा ना सर, बाद में यूटी का भी बोझ आएगा।
राइट। एंड इवन बाकी के डिपार्टमेंट्स के यूटी 2 भी हो गया है, हमारा तो नहीं शेड्यूल अभी तक, हमारा शायद वेकेशन के बाद ही, मतलब दिवाली के बाद ही होगा यूटी 2। मतलब इमीडिएट भी हो सकता है, 17 से स्टार्ट भी हो सकता है, अभी कुछ मीटिंग वगैरह हुआ नहीं है, लेकिन बाकी के डिपार्टमेंट का कल से स्टार्ट हो गया है यूटी 2। मेरे तो कल पेपर चेक हो गया यूटी 1 के पूरे। वो एक्चुअली क्या है, सिस्टम पे चेक करना बहुत मुश्किल होता है, मोबाइल पे भी चेक करने के लिए उतना स्पीड चाहिए, पेपर पेपर अपलोड नहीं होता है। आप लोग सोच रहे होगे, किसी को मैंने मतलब करेक्टेड शीट्स भी भेजे हैं आपको, मतलब आप देख सकते हो उसको।
हाँ सर।
हाँ मैंने भेजे भी है बहुत सारे लोगों को। किसी ने तो मतलब कोई कोई क्या करता है कि हॉरिजॉन्टल इमेज भेजता है, तो उसको पहले सिस्टम तो हम ये नहीं कर सकते ना, तो हमें ऐसा चेक करना पड़ता है, बहुत मुश्किल हो जाती है कभी कभी। हाँ मोबाइल पे चेक करते तो मोबाइल कर सकते हैं। ठीक है, थोड़ा सा हम वेक्टर के ऊपर डिस्कशन करते हैं एंड देन विल डिस्कस टुमारो। अगर कल कल शायद लेक्चर होगा, कल कुछ तो वो प्रोमेथन का कंपटीशन भी है, देखते लेक्चर होगा एंड देन आफ्टर दिवाली सो विल स्टार्ट with the vector algebra. Let me share the screen first. Actually ये सब आपका रिवीजन ही है वेक्टर अलजेब्रा का, यू हैव डिस्कस्ड इन डिटेल इन 12th अबाउट द बेसिक्स ऑफ वेक्टर्स, सो लेट अस रिकॉल ऑल दोस थिंग्स। अभी 12th को भी लगभग 2 साल हो गए, सो इज इट विजिबल, इज द स्क्रीन विजिबल?
यस सर।
Okay. So in introduction part, subject of vector analysis had its development since 19th century. It has developed engineers, mathematicians, and physicists in presenting mathematical formulations of physical phenomena. Vector algebra is very important in physics actually, isn't it? In very compact manner. Equations which takes different shapes in different coordinate systems can be combined into a single equation and dealt in a precise manner, isn't it? And actually this vector algebra, those who are interested in machine learning, isn't it, artificial intelligence, in that this vector algebra and vectors are very important, because that is related to the space. And you might be knowing about the machine learning and artificial intelligence, it is completely based on the space system only, so that is why vectors are very important there. So whenever required, this single equation in vector form or its solution can be readily uh, expressed in desired coordinate systems. Besides this, vector analysis helped in understanding the physical nature of the problem and in correlating mathematical ideas and physical aspects of a problem. Aim of this work is to acquaint the readers with the subject of vector calculus, isn't it? Before we take up the subject of vector calculus, we shall briefly discuss about the elementary aspects of vector algebra. Okay, so what are the vectors actually? A quantity which has got both the magnitude and direction, that is the vector actually, right? Is termed as a vector quantity. This is about quantity, but if I asked about vector only, what is mean by vector? Then what do you think? Vector is a directed line segment which has magnitude and direction also. Directed line segment is a vector. And whenever I'm asking about the quantity, then that will just like velocity, acceleration, that will be these are the vector quantities, right? So physical quantities like displacement, velocity, acceleration, force, current, etc. come under this category, vector quantities. And a quantity which has magnitude alone but has no direction is termed as a scalar quantity. Some examples of scalar quantities are mass, length, time, temperature, speed, etc. Right? Formally, a vector is defined as a directed line segment. That is what I'm saying. Directed line segment, and is graphically represented by an arrow from A to B, right? Where A is the beginning point and B is the tail point, I can say, defining the direction. And it is denoted by AB headed line bar, is it? Or AB simply bar or headed arrow. Okay. Or it can be represented by simply small letters, small a bar, small b bar, like this. Okay. Now what is mean by position vector? A point A in a space can be, a point in a space can be associated with a vector by joining the point A with some point 0 in space is called origin of reference. O को बोलते हैं origin of reference. And if we join any point to that origin, then that joining vector is called position vector. Isn't it? If I consider any arbitrary vector in a space, then will that be a position vector? Any arbitrary vector? Will it be a position vector? हेलो,
आर्बिट्ररी मतलब?
आर्बिट्ररी मतलब स्पेस में कौन सा भी वेक्टर ले लो आप.
सर विद रिस्पेक्ट टू ओरिजिन अगर देखेंगे तो हो सकता है डायरेक्शन में.
With respect to origin, actually ये that is right कि if that vector is joined with the origin, suppose you can see on the board, if this is my coordinate system x, y and z, what I'm saying, if I consider any point in a space, isn't it, and if I join that point with the origin, then a position of this point A will be fixed up by this vector OA bar, isn't it? So that is called a position vector. But if I'm considering any arbitrary vector like this, then will that be a position vector? Will it be a position vector? Hello?
I think no, sir.
Why? Because we are not considering the position with respect to origin, right?
Yes, sir.
But now that is a matter of this frame of reference. If we are considering this vector in this frame of reference, then that will not be a position vector. But if we are making a separate frame of reference for this vector by considering this and this system, then that will be a position vector, isn't it? So if we have given an arbitrary vector with the frame of reference, then we can say this is not arbitrary. This is not a position vector. But if you have given only arbitrary vector and they are asking about the position vector, then the answer will be may or may not. Is it may not कौन से केस में होगा? इस केस में होगा. And may कौन से केस में होगा? इस केस में होगा. Is it clear to all?
Yes.
So that is depend on the frame of reference. Okay. So if we are considering the reverse direction, then that will be denoted by minus of a bar. अगर कोई vector a bar है with this direction, and if we are considering the vector opposite to this with the same magnitude, then that will be denoted by minus of a bar. Okay. equality of vectors, when the two vectors are said to be equal, if they are equal in magnitude as well as direction, both. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि सिर्फ मैग्नीट्यूड सेम है एंड डायरेक्शन अपोजिट है, then both the vectors will not be equal. Addition of the two vectors. If you have the two vectors a bar and b bar, the vector c bar formed by placing the initial point of b bar on the terminal point of a bar, then the vector joining the point a bar to the terminal b bar is called addition vector, and that is c bar. Like this, o to a and then a to b. If we have the two vectors, then vector joining o to b be an addition vector. Okay, difference or the subtraction of two vectors, then multiplication of the two vectors. Actually, multiplication of the two vectors in 12th we have defined in two parts, right? Dot and cross product. That is not a normal multiplication. Normal multiplication will be in real, but if you are in vector, then you have to specify whether that product is dot product or cross product. Now, what is meant by dot and cross product? You see, dot product is defined as a bar dot b bar, and cross product is a bar cross b bar, right? Now, with respect to this coordinate system, x, y, z, these x, y, and z are the coordinate axes. I can say ox, oi, and oz bar are the coordinate axes. And we have one vector which represent the direction of these coordinate axes. So for the x-axis, I cap is a vector which represents the direction of this x-axis. For the vector y bar, we have j cap is a vector which is represents the direction of y axis, and for z axis we have k cap which represents the direction of z axis. So these I cap, j cap, and k cap are called the unit vectors which are representing the direction of coordinate axis. So with respect to these three vectors, actually these unit vectors are called orthogonal vector triad because they are perpendicular to each other. I cap, j cap, and k cap are perpendicular to each other. So that is why they are called orthogonal vector triad, isn't it? So any point in a space you can represent with the help of this orthogonal vector triad. First of all, you have to join that point with the origin. You have to get that position vector, and that position vector you can represent in terms of I cap, j cap, and k cap. Okay. So first of all, any vector I know I can represent by this notation a bar. So here I'm saying since since this is a vector, why I'm not saying it is I bar? Is it? Can I say I bar? The answer is yes. Any vector will be represented by bar notation. But since these are the special vectors, so that is why we are denoting by cap headed. Cap. Cap is the notation for the unit vectors always remember. So some of the books are not differentiating these unit vectors and these arbitrary vectors. They are denoting all the vectors to be by bar, but some of the books says unit vectors are denoted by cap and normal vectors are denoted by bar. Okay, so if we have any vector a bar, then I can write that vector in terms of this I cap, j cap, and k cap. How? In terms of coordinates. So if I have the a1, a2, a3 as a x coordinate, y coordinate, and z coordinate of this vector, then I can write a bar as a a1 I cap plus a2 j cap plus a3 k cap. So this is called a vector representation of a vector in terms of I cap, j cap, and k cap, where these a1, a2, a3 are called components of this vector along coordinate axis. That is, a1 is a component along x-axis, a2 is the component along y-axis, and a3 is the component along z-axis. Right? So if we have the two vectors a bar and b bar, then b bar, the representation of b bar will be like this: b1 I cap plus b2 j cap plus b3 k cap, right? So I can take the dot product of these two. So it is denoted by a bar dot b bar. Dot product is defined to be denoted by a bar dot b bar, and it is defined as what? What is the definition of dot product? It is a bar dot b bar is
cos a
only cos.
modulus
of a bar
dot
modulus of
modulus
b
of
bar
b bar cos theta,
cos of
मतलब cos जो भी एंगल रहेगा बीच में,
where theta is the angle between the two vectors. Suppose if I have this vector a bar and this is vector b bar and this is theta is the angle between these two vectors, then the dot product of these two vectors is defined as this. And now since mod is the scalar, so the mod of a bar and mod of b bar are the scalar numbers. Even cos is also a scalar, so this product will be a scalar. Therefore, this product is called a scalar product. Okay, so dot product is a scalar product and cross product is a vector product. Cross product is defined as a bar cross b bar, which is their product of their magnitudes a bar into mod of b bar into sine of theta. Is it? Is that the only definition of cross product, or is there any addition? Hello?
नहीं ऐसे ही
No, sir.
Is it the definition of cross product?
हाँ सर
Actually, then what is the difference between these two? ये भी scalar होगा. Why the cross product is called vector product? This is called a vector product, so that should be in vectors, ना? आप देख सकते हो यहाँ this is scalar, this is scalar, this is also a scalar. Then how will it be a vector? तो यहाँ एक चीज
सर कैप
it into n cap, then it becomes a vector, isn't it? So if I have a vector a bar b bar, then what will be a bar cross b bar? First of all, what is this n cap? N cap is the normal vector perpendicular to the plane of a bar and b bar. A bar and b bar के plane को perpendicular है. This is n cap, and a bar cross b bar will be a vector in the direction of this. तो ये है आपका a bar cross b bar, and n cap will be a unit vector in the direction of a bar cross b bar. So these two products you have discussed, you have studied in 12th, along with the detailed discussion with the applications to STP also, isn't, and even the applications in physics also. Okay, so I think we should stop here. We'll discuss the few things with the dot product and further triple product, quadruple products in the next lecture. Okay, shall we stop here or to continue?
stop
Okay. Okay then, thank you all. We'll
Thank
stop
you,
here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.